Hey everyone, welcome back. Firstly, sorry for the major delay on this video. It's been almost a month since the last one, which means the algorithm probably thinks my channel is dead. Consider liking and subscribing to help us get back on track. Secondly, this arc may be the last of Archie I'll cover for a little bit, but don't worry, it's not gone for good, but admittedly, I do feel a tad drained by these videos, and I want to be able to make content where I can be more creative. Lastly, I'm splitting this video and the last into two parts. Not only to get this part out sooner, but to also not overwhelm myself with a 30 to 40 minute script. Are we good? Alright, let's begin. Sonic and Sally attend Mina's congratulatory concert after Eggman's defeat, with Sonic still having a sense of guilt for going too far with the Doctor. Mina's band begins their concert. When lightning strikes the stage, it was Monkey Khan, who is upset at our heroes for partying so soon. Elsewhere, Espio stops his meditation to find out what's going on. Sonic tries to fend off Monkey Khan when Sally breaks up their fight to discuss things with him, who informs them that their efforts to keep the Eggman Empire down was unsuccessful. In the Egg Dome, we find the Iron Queen congregating with her servants. The Iron King grows bored and goes to scour the Egg City for anything resourceful. Dimitri, requesting an audience with the Iron Queen, shares his plight, asking her to remove the explosives that Eggman placed inside the cybernetic parts of his Dark Egg Legion. She tells Dimitri that after further inspection, she's unable to remove the explosives due to how thorough Eggman was, but she hands him a microchip that when installed will disable the detonation signal. Something's up though, and it seems Dimitri isn't buying it. He exits grumpily as Snively and the Iron Queen share a moment. Monkey Khan catches up with our heroes. Elias orders for the council to be gathered and to create a plan to deal with this new threat on the Iron Dominion. Khan demands that they make haste. Sally suggests organizing with the freedom fighters of Khan's hometown, the Dragon Kingdom, but somberly he informs her that he's all that's left. Sonic eagerly insists that he and Khan go and blitz the fortress, but Sally, of course, is against it. But Khan states that since Sonic is so confident, he should go see how out of his league he really is. To her dismay, she grants him permission to do recon on the fortress, and they both rush off. Khan makes a comment about not understanding how Sally could be with a guy like Sonic, and he replies that there isn't much to understand since they aren't together, which excites our monkey friend. The Bride of Conquering Storms informs Snively and the Iron Queen that Sonic and Monkey Khan are on the way. This issue's epilogue sees Espio facing off against Lightning of the Destructives. Lightning informs Espio that he is here on ninja business, telling him of how the ninja clans Espio is sworn to now fall under the Bride of Four Houses, the Iron Queen. He delivers Espio orders from the Bride of Constant Vigil. Espio, conflicted, says his goodbyes to Nicole and takes off with Lightning to fulfill his new orders to intercept Sonic and Monkey Khan. Sonic and Khan arrive at Megalopolis and flank the Dark Egg Legion. Linda arrives, and Monkey Khan immediately shoots her down. The Egg U jumps in and ambushes Sonic and Khan. Apparently, they are the clan members led by the Bride of Rich Knights, who is defeated by the Iron Queen. That's another story. The Iron King appears, and Khan informs Sonic that his weakness, the fan of Fane Sheen, isn't a viable option, as it was acquired by the Egg U. So they formulate a quick plan to attempt to take down the Iron King, and well, an attempt is certainly made. Espio arrives and attacks Sonic, and Lightning gets Khan. Sonic gets overwhelmed by Espio and the Egg U, while Khan gets overwhelmed by Lightning and the Dark Egg Legion. Turns out, these guys aren't the pushover Sonic expected them to be. The Iron King tells them to surrender as Sonic and Khan plan their escape. They flee on Khan's cloud, and the Iron King allows them to fly away without a fight, stating that their hope is wounded. Sonic tells Elias, Sally, and Knuckles what happened at the battlefield, and considers preparation. Sally checks in on Monkey Khan, who allows her to just call him Ken. Khan is disappointed in himself as a king. This issue's epilogue is Regina, the Iron Queen, spending time alone with Snively as she tells him of her past. She was born and raised as a techno-mage, which was an illegal form of magic in their world. One day, she and her cult were arrested, but she was spared of charges due to her age. But she still lived in exile. With nowhere to go, she wandered the world until she happened upon the Dragon Kingdom, where she met Jun-kun, who would eventually grow out to be the Iron King. Local Mobotropolis kids throw stones at Khan for ruining Mina's concert. Sonic stops them, saying violence is not the answer, yet they are quick to point out that he was quick to spin dash Khan when it all happened. Khan apologizes to the children and walks away. Sonic decides to check up on him. Sonic playfully acknowledges that Khan is working on his temper, mentioning that the humility is befitting of someone who is prophesied to become a king. like way back in issue 60. Khan lashes out, yelling about how the four clans began war with one another over the rule of the Dragon Kingdom and how Robotnik helped spark the war, causing Khan's fated role as king to be disrupted. Suddenly, the city sirens go off and Nicole informs Sonic and Khan that Snively and the Iron Queen managed to breach the city. Khan runs off somewhere, and the freedom fighters engage Regina, but she uses her magic to puppeteer Bunny into attacking her own friends. Sonic grabs Bunny and takes her to a cage where she should be safe, but Regina activates Bunny's arm cannon, destroying the cage. The kids from earlier plead with Khan to help the freedom fighter. The Iron Queen realizes that Bunny's arm cannon runs off her own life pit, and she begins to fire another one at full power. Khan swoops in and attacks Regina, saving Bunny, yes, but gets in range of her magic. When Snively removes the power ring protecting Khan from her techno magic, Regina takes control of Khan, who turns out to be a full cyborg, meaning she now has complete control over Monkey Khan. This issue's epilogue shows Espio approaching the Master Emerald, and he also finds its guardian. Knuckles begins questioning Espio, but it becomes clear that he's not there to talk. Espio outmaneuvers Knuckles and pins him against the cliffs of the island. Khan attacks the freedom fighters as well as the kids from earlier, whom Sonic saves. Sally brings Sonic up to speed and he engages Cybercop, attempting to snap him out of his psychosis. Snively breaks the power ring, and Regina reveals that she took control over Khan to make him destroy the freedom fighters of the dragon and intends to do the same for Naho. Sonic comes up with a plan with Sally to find another power ring. Khan comes in swinging, but Antoine takes up arms against him. To buy time, Antoine is rightfully upset, yelling at Khan for not informing them about their enemy's powers, for not telling them that he was a liability, and for endangering his wife. This is peak Antoine content, by the way. The Chaotix try whatever they can to hold off Khan. Sonic impatiently waits for a power ring to pop out of the Lake of Rings, and when Khan comes to attack, a ring pops up just in time. Sonic puts the two and two together, realizing that Khan's abrupt arrival, his loss of contact with his friends at the Dragon Kingdom, and him being upset about his failed role as a king are all connected due to Regina's technomagic. Khan is broken, and once the Iron Queen is satisfied, she makes her exit with Snively. Khan begins explaining about his losses to Sally and Sonic, when Antoine chimes in, rightfully upset again, that Khan is choosing now of all times to be transparent after his wife was hurt. The kids from earlier chime in to cheer Monkey Khan up. Everyone makes up and the issue comes to a close, with Snively taunting his uncle, who cannot understand him at them. Once Snively leaves, however, Eggman utters a phrase that frees himself from the cell. This issue's epilogue closes out with Espio's attack from earlier, stating that since Knuckles will put his life on the line to prevent Espio from taking the Master Emerald, his orders are now conflicting. Espio stands down and begins explaining the dynamic between the Bride and the Ninja Clan. Espio runs off, with Knuckles asking him that if the Bride of Four Houses ordered him to steal the Master Emerald, what did the Bride of Constant Vigil order him to do? Now we jump into the Knuckles arc. Knuckles meets with the Dingo General, who says he's found intel on Finitivis' location, so Knuckles, Mighty, and Julie Sue go track him down. Vector guards the Master Emerald with Ray, who asks Vector about his childhood of living in Down Under, the crater beneath Angel Island. Suddenly, they are attacked by flying Dingobot. Mighty catches up with an old friend. The trio explore and analyze the huts and pyramids nearby, considering the connections to the old Echidna tribe. Vector and Ray realize that the Dingobots are going after the Master Emerald. Nux, Julie Sue, and Marty fall into a trap in the ruin. Vector and Ray are overwhelmed by the Dingobot. Knuckles and company manage to spring free of the trap and discover Finitivis' current lab and an open warp ring. Ray uses the power of the Master Emerald to go super, but it was only a bluff to scare off the Dingobot. Turns out he learned a thing or two from Knuckles about how chaos energy reacts to people differently. Knuckles and co. warp to Down Under, where they find and pursue Finitivis. He plays a few tricks up until Knuckles is able to lay a good hit on him. Suddenly, harpoons shoot from Down Under and latch on to Angel Island. Knuckles throws the Doctor against several walls, but then the Doctor convinces the heroes that he is not behind the harpoon shooting, stating that he needs Angel Island to stay intact in order to continue his research. Vector and Ray use a warp ring to meet everyone in Down Under and catch them up to speed with the Dingobot. The Down Under freedom fighters spring into action, taking out the bots and acquaints themselves with Knuckles' group. Later that night, the Down Under team shares with Knuckles' team about what's been happening. Apparently, a platypus chapter of the Dark Legion was working with a presumed traitor of the Down Under team to harpoon the island, When their leader, Walt Wallaby, gets Knuckles alone, he informs him that Finnativus is working with them, so they come up with a plan. Walt will take care of Finnativus, Knuckles will deal with the Dark Egg Legion, and Julie Sue will take Ray back home to watch over the Master Emerald. The plan is underway, and as Knuckles discovers that Finnativus was in fact behind the harpoons, the Dingobots attack. At the same time, Walt's team attacks Finnativus, but he outsmarts them. The Platypus chapter of the Dark Legion takes out Knuckles' team and Walt's team and captures them. Knuckles awakes to find his team and the Down Under freedom fighters held captive by Finnativus and Bill, the traitor of Walt's Down Under team. Finnativus reveals that he conspired with the Dark Egg Legion to gain access to the Master Emerald. With the heroes captured, he leaves for the Emerald, but Bill stays behind. He frees everyone, explaining that his plan as a traitor was to trick Eggman. With that reconciled, it's time for payback. All of the Down Under freedom fighters take on the Dark Egg Legion, while Knuckles returns to the Master Emerald to face off against Finnativus. Finnativus tries manipulating Knuckles, offering him answers to the past, the mysteries of his people, anything he wants. But Knuckles doesn't waver, landing many hits on Finnativus, and the two begin to clash.
Child, spoiled with power, blind to reality, with no vision for the future!
Fighting it out one-on-one, using Chaos Power. When Finnativus gains the upper hand, Julie Sue snipes him, and Knuckles takes the injured Doctor and throws him off the cliff of the island. With the day saved, the Chaotix watches the sunset as they gather around the Master Emerald Shrine. Alright, no more detour. Let's get back to the Iron Dominion story. Eggman breaks out of his cell, but he's still suffering from his madness. He takes a mech and storms out of the Egg Dome. The freedom fighters check in on Bonnie and Khan at the hospital. Bunny forgives Khan and all is well, but Nicole informs Sonic of a disturbance just outside the city. As he leaves, Khan tries as well, but he is stopped by his doctor and told to stay. Sonic encounters Eggman in the forest, but immediately realizes that he is not yet lucid. As the Iron Queen prepares to hunt Eggman down, Conquering Storms informs her that Espio was unable to retrieve the Master due to his leader, the Bride of Constant Vigil, calling for him to go back to the Dragon Kingdom. Regina instructs Storms to return to the kingdom. Tails meets up with Sonic, and together they shut him down. Tails wonders why Sonic was going easy on Eggman, and Sonic admits that he feels like he's too far, like he did something horrible during the raid. Tails doesn't have any sympathy for Eggman, but as a friend, he does offer an ear of understanding to Sonic's concern of not wanting to be cruel to Eggman. The heroes apprehend Eggman and plan to take him to the Acorn prison, but as they try, the Iron Queen shows up to take him back. This issue ends on Leenda desiring her birthright as the leader of her people. This is one of my favorite issues so far. Tails doesn't want Sonic to go up against the Iron Dominion all by himself, and Sonic assures him that he's not. He deduces that the Iron Queen and King have only brought half of the Dark Egg Legion, and only 1 in 4 of the Ninja Clan, which is only a fraction of the Iron Dominion. The Iron Queen gloats, calling Sonic overconfident for someone who's backed into a corner. Sonic takes off, blasting through her army in just mere seconds. Khan meets up with Sally as she's heading toward the forest when Tails pops up with Eggman, explaining everything. Sally and Khan takes Eggman to the Acorn prison and has Nicole gather the freedom fighters. The Iron Queen becomes snappy with Snively due to Sonic winning, but the Iron King steps up and overwhelms Sonic. The freedom fighters come in the nick of time, neutralizing the Iron King and Queen and making their escape. Nicole puts a barrier on the city. Khan and Bunny approach the gates, mocking the Iron Dominion, telling them to get lost, which they do. Sonic talks a bit with Eggman, who is still in his madness, and when Khan asks why he is showing him mercy, Sonic just says he does what he feels is right in the moment. Regina is upset, with Snively telling him that he needs to find a way to breach Nicole's barrier. This issue ends with Dimitri discovering that the microchip makes his people vulnerable to Regina's magic, but he has managed to modify one of the chips to resist her power. Leenda theorizes that this means that using the modified chip would allow her to control anyone installed with Regina's chips. So she betrays Dimitri, immobilizes him, and keeps him hidden away, and she takes her place as the new commander of the Legion. Fort Acorn, which is protecting the ruins of Eggman's old city, the one destroyed by Enerjack, is under attack by the Iron King. Amadeus leads the defense against elsewhere. Sally and Khan share a romantic moment, but Nicole informs her of the Iron King's attack and has already sent Sonic and Tails. Khan is confused on why Knothole is protecting an old Eggman base. Sally explains that the city has become radioactive, so Nicole built an energy converter that turns the toxic waste into power for their new city. So the Iron King is not only trying to take out the city's power source, but also pollute the entire region. Sonic saves Amadeus from the Iron King, and he meets with his son Tails in the evacuation vehicle. Sonic faces off against the Iron King, but soon Khan joins the fight. Sally meets with Bunny, who is currently still inactive, and begins sharing her feelings about Khan. Sonic and Khan are unable to stop the Iron King, but Sonic suddenly comes up with a plan. He has Nicole build another power converter underground, then tells the Iron King that they surrender and will let him destroy the power converter if he leaves the shield alone, keeping the toxins at bay. Khan and Sonic make it home, and Sally takes Khan elsewhere. This saddens Sonic a bit, but Amy invites him to dinner and he accepts. This issue ends with the Iron King giving his backstory on how Robotnik endorsed them, and how he and Regina slew the bride of rich knights. Jun-kun blames Snively for Sonic making a fool out of him and walks off. Snively, however, seems to have an ace up his sleeve. And that's all she wrote. I just want to reiterate quickly, I'm not done with Archie, just expect more kinds of content on the channel. The final part of this saga will come out very soon, and then, well, we'll just have to see. Anyways, guys and gals, make sure you spread love, and I'll see you next time.